Hello again, welcome to the second Moneyworks Cashbook tutorial. In this video we're going to briefly talk about receipts and customers, basically receiving money from people and employers and businesses and whatnot. That's also going to be your sales. We're going to talk about payments and suppliers, which is money that's outgoing, stuff we buy, stuff from suppliers for companies. We're going to talk about accounts and budgeting, and then we're going to talk about how Cashbook can provide powerful reporting options and exporting of data to Excel and other places. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to pull up Cashbook. In the first video, the introduction, we talked about a little bit about setting up the account. So here on our home screen on the Cash and Banking tab, let's just say that we sold something. Say we're a business and we sold something, or for instance for personal finance, say you just got a paycheck from your employer. You're going to start at the new receipt function right here. It's going to pull up a little invoice type screen. You don't have to enter a customer, but I like to do it. The first time you do this, you're going to tab over in that field there. And you're not going to have any choices here because we haven't created any customers. We're going to go ahead and do that right now. You can give it a code if you want, or that can be numerical or with characters. And you can say that if you also buy stuff from this person, you can check them as a supplier as well as a customer. And let's give them a name. Let's say that we're receiving a paycheck from Acme Incorporated. And you can put in their mailing address and all kinds of information for this contact that I'm not going to bother with right now. You can look into that. And let's say they have a receipt number on that paycheck. And let's say that we're receiving this on the 15th of March. You can put in a description, paycheck, and the amount of your paycheck. Let's say $750. You can select how they paid. Let's say it was an electronic transfer. And you can also choose a color for this transaction. I like to choose a color for transactions that haven't been posted yet so that it's easier to keep track, or you can use a color specific to each supplier or specific to each customer. So I'll just use cyan just to say that because I'm not going to post it, and I'll show you that in a second. First of all, this is going to be going into the checking account. If it's going to go somewhere else, into any one of your bank accounts here, you can choose whichever one you want there. Let's just say it's going to go into the checking account. Now under this account, this is going to keep track of where this income is coming from. So let's find our income accounts, which are shown as IN under this tab. Now, since we don't have an income for, say we work for Acme Incorporated, we don't have a general income account. I'm just going to create a new one, and I'm going to call it Acme for the code. I'm going to call it Acme Incorporated Income. This is an income account, and that looks good. Hit OK. And that's going to show up down here. Now, what you probably should do is you can if you want, you can add them in the numbers for the code. You could have a number so that it'll come up wherever you want it. For this purposes, this is fine. And then in the description, you can add a description if you want. It's not really necessary. And we're going to hit OK. Now, you can check this by going under receipts, and here it is. It shows up. However, if you go over to accounts and budgets and show balances, that number hasn't posted in here yet because we didn't post it. And that's why the status says U. It's unposted. So what you're going to have to do when that money actually clears in your bank account and you actually have that money, you have to click the little post button so it's showing here, and then OK. And now it is posted, so that when we check our account again, now that money has posted into our account. Payments work exactly the same way. Whenever you purchase things, you're going to do the exact same thing. Say we bought something from, let's see, First of all, okay, it's not letting me do that because we don't have any. Say I bought something. We're going to create a new supplier. Somebody we're buying something from. Say I bought something from Target. Okay. Now Target should show up here. Okay. Let's say I bought it on the 16th of March. And say I bought it with my credit card, which is one of our standard accounts here. Say I bought some shirts for work. It's $34. Paid with a credit card. And it hasn't posted to our account yet, so I'm going to make it a certain color of my choice. And then under our, this is really, our budget accounts that you're going to be using here. What category of my budget is that money going to come out of? And you can choose find to find a category or, an account code or any other, description. We'll say description contains, and we'll say clothing. And hit find. And it didn't find anything, so we're going to go ahead and make a new one because I want to keep track of how much I spend on clothing. And I'm going to call it clothes. And this is an expense. And you're done. So now when we do this again, it should find that, and we're going to use that one. Okay, so it's going to keep track of my clothing because that's how much I spent for shirts for work. Okay, I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to check it, show payments, and there it is. It shows you your date, what it was, and it's blue because it's unposted. So that's what I told it to do. If you needed to cancel this, you can actually, since it hasn't posted, you can just delete it. If you have posted it and say you take the shirts back and need a refund, you can just cancel this and it'll show a canceling transaction with a minus. Okay. So now we've covered receipts and payments. Let's go over budgets real quick. Over here on the counts and budgets, you can go into show budgets, and this is very easy. It shows all of your expense accounts and income accounts, and it shows all your accounts. You can just go ahead and click in these fields in the spreadsheet, and let's say we pay $500 in rent. Just type in 500, enter, and it pops up in there. Say we receive $1,000 a month wages, or from our Acme Incorporated account. Go ahead and zero that out. And let's say, so you can fill out your entire thing here. If say you pay this every month, you can go ahead and select all of these, and you can say fill right, and it'll distribute that throughout the rest. If your rent doesn't change. And, it gives you some options. Now let's say we spend, let's just add a couple more in here just for the sake of showing you here. Alright, now this is great. You can select these and you can tell it to sum, then it'll tell you, how much in the ones you've selected. So just so you can quickly access, sums for ranges of expenses. You can also look at last year and next year, all of them. Alright, and that's basically how you can enter your budgets, and then you can see your balances. Now, what if you want to look at your balances or how much you're spending versus your budget? It's very easy. Come up to reports. We're going to go down to profit and loss, profit versus budget. You can include the unposted ones if you'd like to see, what your budget is currently, including things that haven't posted yet. You can tell it to omit 0 balances if you'd like. Print movements, that'll show every transaction. We're going to say March, and preview. It brings up a preview that we can print or save. And it basically shows you everything here. So it shows your budget for the period, which is March. These are what you've put in as your budget. And then the actual, this is what you've actually spent or received for this period. And then variance shows you It shows you the difference between the two in percent. So we received 75% here of what we've budgeted to receive this month. And then they have the annual equivalent over here. This is showing for the rest of the year, year-to-date actuals, and amount left for year. Now this is very handy because we can also, if we go back to reports, the last one you ran, the last report you ran will always be right here, so you can run it again. You can choose different outputs here. This is great. So you can choose Excel, and it'll export it right to Excel. If Excel's not open already, it'll open it for you. And then you have a worksheet with this report in it that you can, add to and customize. I like to color them and, add different breakdowns. You can use, all the Excel functions. It's very handy. So that's just a little bit more on Moneyworks Cashbook. We'll go into a little bit more detail in videos to come. Thank you for watching, and check out my other videos.